Hello and welcome to this session of Catching Up with Shelby and Rhett. I'm Rhett Hubbard. This is Shelby Berg. We are here to serve this wonderful community and on this windy day. So it's a good day to be inside because it is
Hmm.
miserably windy out there. I had to
Yes.
mat my hair down with water before I got on this meeting to look presentable. Um, as always, we're here to answer your questions. We will do a quick screen share with kind of a summary of the financial state of the HOA, just about half of the slides that we presented at our two meetings earlier this week. And then the slides in its entirety, the entire presentation will be put out tomorrow in an email to the community from me for everyone to share, and then also posted on the website so everyone can get caught up. We don't have too many write-in questions today, are pre-submitted. So please jump on the bottom at the Q&A and go ahead and start entering whatever question that you might have for Shelby and me to answer. And then we'll go from there. And then, of course, you can use the raise hand function and we'll do that. But we're going to do a lot of finance stuff, a little bit more finance stuff than we've done in some catching up with Shelby and Rhett's before. But we'll go ahead and jump into some questions first, and then we'll jump on and do this financial summary, which will take about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll feel free to answer any other questions that you might have, finance or otherwise, as we move forward. Well, there was a water outage about a week and a half ago now. People were trying to ask what happened. There was a water main that was switching over for a new unit on the north side of the property. It was only supposed to affect about 30 homes. There was a mistake made, I believe, by the city of Denton that caused our whole entire property to be short of water for about an hour and a half. That has since been resolved. Uh, it was shocking. We got a lot of calls, and even the HOA office was unaware that we were going to have a water outage. But glad they got that mitigated and taken care of in a pretty timely fashion, even though it was shocking that none of the HOA amenities and none of the households had water for a period of time.
Do you want to go through some
Sure, why not?
of these that have been written in? Our first question on the Q&A is how many dogs are each homeowner allowed in Robeson?
A homeowner can have as many dogs as they want. I figure there's nothing in our rules that limits the amount of dogs uh, in any one home. You can't, of course, have a kennel out back. There are rules to that, but the quantity of pets that any one homeowner's had, there's no limitation to that.
Mhm. With the implementation of the identification program for golf carts, I can only assume that this program has been expanded to include bicycles and e-bikes in particular. Is this correct?
No, that's not correct. So at this time, we are not registering any e-bikes within the HOA office. Golf carts do count as a vehicle similar to a car as we register those in our property databases and for parking purposes as well. But we have not expanded that to e-bikes at this time. But that does allow me to kind of mention we are uh, do have a new golf cart sticker that we're going to be going through and calling homeowners, or if you come up to the HOA office to do any business, one of our HOA attendants will go ahead and mention, hey, do you have a golf cart? Can I get you a new sticker? That new sticker is a little bit bigger. The numbers are bigger, and you kind of guessed it. We want to be able to identify golf carts from a distance, similar to a license plate on a car for reasons of, as we've discussed many times on Catching Up with Shelby and Rhett, golf carts running stop signs or are not obeying the laws of, as of cars and vehicles. And so we want to aid and assist in enforcement of that with violation letters to our patrol with that. So we are asking homeowners to come in. We're making our way through our database in alphabetical order, calling about 50 or so homeowners a day. So the HOA office isn't overwhelmed and kind of updating those stickers within our database. So that's going to be coming out. Right now, I think we're at the end of the B's or C's, and our plan is to get all of this completed, hopefully by the end of the year. Might be into January. I did some math. We have about 2,100 golf carts out there. If we were calling 50 a day, and about a week ago there was 41 days, that'd be 50 calls a day. So somewhere close to the beginning of the year is when we'll be completing that project and getting all the cart stickers updated. So thanks for that.
Can you please verify how many lanes Michelle Way has?
Two. Michelle Lane is a two-lane road. Of course, there's room on the side if there's a golf cart driving on the road on that where you could kind of split that, but it is a two-lane road. The golf cart, the path on the west side, which is wider, can take golf cart. So if you're in a golf cart, you can drive on that west side path, as you can also drive on the west side path on Ed Robeson Boulevard.
Is there a possibility of obtaining a couple or few pool tables for use in the current property layout?
No, I mean, that's the long and short of it. If you can come up with an idea of where one could possibly go, we'd be open to that, but we've kind of racked our brain over the last, whew, 15,
Ooh.
20 years almost regarding a potential location for a pool table or pool tables around, and there really isn't. Any place in the clubhouse is used for meetings or group spaces, preventing any areas in the clubhouse for that. Kind of the middle room and the grill, the lounge area, that's not going to be feasible for that because of how that room is utilized. Of course, the bar and the grill would be a great spot if it were a little bit bigger, but it's not, and that place gets full a lot of the time. Gymnasium is used for gym activities. The men's and women's lounge and the Cimarron Sports Club are used daily by men and women in both of those areas. Couldn't convert those to a pool table. Um, uh, CATC, kind of the same thing when you look at that with the availability of pool tables. I know it's something that is wanted here, and I think it is a good suggestion. Just the lack of space for a pool table is kind of at issue. And that brings up kind of a segue into another question I received. It says, someone told me one of the Robeson communities has a movie theater auditorium with theater seating. Is that true? If so, why are we not able to get one? Are all Robeson communities comparable in terms of amenities? All Robeson communities are comparable in terms of amenities. There is a theater room at Pebble Creek that's kind of within their clubhouse structure. It is kind of a nice room for theaters. They do some movies in that. That room does sit empty about 300 days a year, but it is utilized. I think that would be a good space for us. And we've kind of mentioned all those suggestions within the facilities survey that they did for potential future amenities here that they would give. But as the community grows, there will be additional amenities. What those will be or what those look like are still kind of up for discussion at the corporate level. We're still don't know what those are going to be and what the timeline is for those amenities to happen, but we have shared the feedback from homeowners within our community to corporate leadership, the decision makers at the corporate level to kind of suggest that. But there's other places have kind of similar pools, similar arts and crafts areas, CATC areas, similar restaurants, similar ballrooms, and depending on size of communities and what they are, some have more, some have less, but everything's pretty similar to what we have here in Robeson Ranch, Texas.
Mhm. Something happened with water directly behind my house on Iron Bark this morning that caused a huge gush for several minutes. Is anything connected to the water lines on Robeson Crossing?
Yeah, I'm kind of unaware of what might have happened. Nothing was brought to my attention except for this right here. I know they were running kind of a water main line, kind of from Robeson Crossing down to Unit 40. So I'm not sure what happened, but if you want to shoot me an email after this call, I can dig a little bit further and see if I can provide you with some more information.
All right, and what is the status of the bathroom at the dog park? Does it really take 2 years to transfer a piece of land from Ropes and Corporate to the HOA?
It's taken longer than that, but the status of Robeson is that would that project will not take place until the land is transferred. It won't be within your budget. So right now, for a variety of reasons that are kind of some of them above my pay grade, that are happening with our corporate legal. That land has not been transferred to the HOA, so that project will not proceed. Remember, the city of Denton wants us to open up our plan development, which will adjust setbacks for gas wells and affect a whole bunch of stuff within our community. And this is just one of those things that happen for us. It is part of a bigger plat. It would have to be broken out, but those are what's going on. So at this time, I do not feel positive that a dog park restroom will take place anytime soon.
Is there a chance of combining all of the systems for golf, pickleball, gym, and main system? It can be challenging to navigate so many.
I'm
Well, for
trying,
like booking,
is that for Chelsea?
probably like there's Chelsea, and then you've got like gym reservations and things like that. It's probably what they're referencing
I
to.
mean, most things are booked through Chelsea. So golf's Chelsea, if we're talking about book, and pickleball does have one bookable court through Chelsea and the others through the club. I'm really unsure about the gym and what do you mean by main system?
Yeah.
So if you could just type back a little bit and give us some more details to that question, I'd be happy to try to answer it ourselves. I mean, answer it for you.
Mm.
Most everything that we have is through North Star that we have with our website, with our payment systems within the pro shop and the grill, the check-in systems in the gym are also through North Star. So we have kind of one system that we utilize for accounting, your bill pay, everything like that is all through North Star. Chelsea is kind of getting combined with North Star. That's golf and tennis and potentially pickleball and bocce reservation system that's used.
I have heard that construction traffic is only supposed to come in the main gate. Is that correct? I've seen some vehicles sneaking in on Michelle Way when a gate does not close quickly. But yesterday witnessed a first when a large truck decided to come in the exit gate, which had not yet closed. I reported it at the main gate, and to see it, please watch the Michelle Gate recording from yesterday. How do we stop this?
Well, the thing is that that's not true. Construction traffic, it can go to through Michelle Way. So construction traffic that does construction for the developer. So if someone's dropping off a wood package, they can come through Michelle Way gate. Not all traffic for construction has to go through the main gate. There is other construction traffic, and to say no construction entrance through Orangewood. But if people are doing work for the developer, they can go through the Orangewood gate. So there is no gate that they have to go through in regards to construction traffic. If it's closer to their job site to get to go through Michelle, that's highly encouraged for them to go through Michelle. And if it's closer to get to their construction site going through the main gate, they'll go through the main gate.
And going back to Michelle Way with the 2 lanes, will road strips be added at some point? This will help knowing it's 2 lanes only.
Well, I know people are confused by it, but that road's been there for 20 years. So we do plan on adding some striping down that road when budgets allow. It's about $2,500 to add stripes down that road. So it's not cheap to move forward in doing that. We haven't had any, knock on wood, any issues with Michelle Way to this date. So its level of priority, I don't see it as being that high.
Have they completed the new waterfall project at the entrance?
Yes, they've completed that. That's up and running fully. It's good to go. We finished on time and under budget, so we're happy to move on with that project and get that one completed. It looks very nice. Looks has a more natural look to it. I think the company and I know the company did a great job, so that's good.
Great. All right, bocce courts. Looking at the new bocce courts, what's planned for the land to the right of it? And I think I have two questions on that. What's going on the dirt area next to bocce courts?
Well, in the short term, it's just irrigation and grass. So really all the PVC pipes you see kind of stick that were sticking out of the ground, the irrigation's already laid. It's just to identify where the sprinkler heads are going to be while they were doing that concrete project or redoing that concrete project for that. That's something that will just be grass for now. There could be some potential another amenity kind of right closer to the CATC, but nothing has been determined for that. So irrigation and grass will go in that area.
And going back to the Michelle Way with the construction trucks, couple are just asking about what to do with vehicles going in the exit lane on Michelle Way and what we can do to prevent this.
Well, to prevent it, if you witness someone going in the exit lane or know what time someone went in the exit lane or any wrong way traffic, what you need to do is notify me or patrol, well, with just date and time. If you give me date and time, I can look it up on the cameras. I have license plate readers. I can identify which company or which homeowner or who did such an act. Or which guest, and then we can track them down and then communicate with them.
And going back to all of the systems, they're saying they have multiple logins and passwords in Chelsea plus the main HOA. So it'd be North Star and Chelsea for the two different
Yes.
logins.
Yeah. So yeah, North Star and Chelsea will continue to have two different logins until they fully combine with each other. About 4 years ago, North Star purchased Chelsea, but there hasn't been a total integration yet. So I'm unsure when that total integration will take place.
Has the bank expanded their hours yet? Same hours as when we had half the residents as today.
There has been discussions about the bank expanding their hours. Remember, the bank is their own business entity. If they see a need to expand their hours, they're more than welcome to do so. That room that they lease out in the CHCC is fully committed to them. They have done some renovations to that to make it more like a branch. And so I know in my discussions, I've encouraged them to increase their hours with that operation, and hopefully they'll do it soon. But if you do bank there, I would go ahead and use your voice to say, hey, when you're all expanding your hours, hey, we'd sure like to have you out here more and see what they say.
Mhm.
But I'm pressuring on my end as well.
There is a large piece of land on the east side of Ropes and Road, south of the clubhouse, with a white picket fence around it. What are the plans for that piece of land?
Is that Ed Robeson Boulevard near the sales office? Seems like it. That land will be future homes.
Yeah.
If you're talking about off Murray S. Johnson, that
Mm,
field over there with the white fence,
yes.
that once the sales office is no longer needed, and the model village is no longer needed, that model village street will come on and come through and swerve around. And so that'll be home lots that will feed into Murray S. Johnson. I think it's about 10 or 12 home lots that will be in that area future. That will be a long way down the road because right now there's no plans for another sales office.
Right, you mentioned at one of the last meetings that a company had come around inquiring about installing a cell tower. Any more news regarding that?
Well, I have some news for that. So I've worked with a company really to be able to install a cell tower on our property. It has to be outside of our planned development. So on developer property that isn't in our current kind of planned development footprint. So what that led us to do is kind of look up north off Lively Road. There's a water tower up there off Lively. Uh, to get the proper amount of coverage we need, that cell tower would need to be 230 feet. We explored through the FAA since we have Denton Airport over there. Couldn't go up 230 feet, could only go up 130 feet, which wouldn't give us the coverage that we needed. down here south of that area. It's about 2 miles up there. The other area that was then explored is right there off Robeson Ranch Road in Yarborough. We have a gas well park kind of behind the dog park. There's a gas well park area in a field. We looked at adding one in that area, but that area was discouraged by this cell tower company because Verizon has a tower that is going to be installed just to the west of our property that will provide better coverage to our property. So it'd kind of be like we'd be double dipping. It wouldn't do what it was intended to do. So the good news is that Verizon is installing a cell tower to the west of our property that will improve coverage on the entire west side, I would say, to Ed Robeson Boulevard, more than likely in our community. I was told that this cell tower will be active within 1 to 3 months, and then that should help improve cell coverage in our tower. And then I believe, any other cell provider would have the option to lease space on that tower as well, increasing their coverage in our community. Still looking for areas on the east side of our property, but there's not much areas on the east side that are outside of the planned development. But I've had nice talks with the cell companies and trying to do what we can to increase our cell service here.
Going back to the dog park, why can't the dog park be built by the developer and then transferred to the HOA as with other amenities?
That question has been asked, and at this time, that's not going to happen. So, a great idea. We've kind of went through there and had those conversations already. At this time, for whatever reason, that doesn't seem like it's a possibility, but we will continue to explore that. But that was under discussion.
About the cell tower, when were you told the 1 to 3 months timing?
2 weeks ago.
What is the best way to see the Wild Horse Grill menu? We like to order carryouts and sometimes when we have guests over, but the website doesn't show it. Is it posted somewhere that's easy to find and view from a phone or computer?
Well, I can make it. Well, I'll check, see if we can get it back on the website if it's not on the website. But the Wild Horse Weekly, they do send out the entire lunch and dinner menu with the features every Monday. So it's very important. They used to send it out every day, which became kind of monotonous and people really didn't open it as much. But every Monday they'll give you the Wild Horse Weekly to tell you what's going on at the Wild Horse Grill, along with menus, features, and the like for that entire week. So check that out.
Not knowing what goes in the new large ramada at the new bocce courts, could a pool table go in there?
I mean, I guess you could do an outdoor pool table, but then I'm concerned about pool sticks walking off and lack of security under that area. Right now, it's planned to have some picnic tables under there, similar to between the courts. I just don't think that's our best location for a pool table. I would think the best location was be for it to be indoors somewhere.
Mhm. What happened to the street light at the Ed Robeson entrance? It looks like a truck took it down. Might be good to have a right turn lane into Ed Robeson entrance for large trucks.
I'm currently working with the city and the county to get a turn lane added up there, but that's something that we can't do. That's not Ed Road. That's not our availability. That's within a city easement. So if I wanted to add a turn lane into Robeson, that's something the HOA can't do. But we can have the conversations with city and county officials regarding that. I had a meeting regarding the widening of Robeson Ranch Road, and what that would look like is uh, just kind of, we'll call it 200 yards before the deceleration lane into the bridge. The road would be expanded right there with an additional lane and an additional deceleration lane going over the bridge, and would be continued, I'd call it about 100 yards after Ed Robeson Boulevard, and then the road would kind of slim back that down. That could be done in the short term. There's some right-of-way stuff that they'll have to work out with Robeson Ranch Denton Development. Uh, but the construction drawings and plans have already been kind of gone over with engineers with the county, and so conversations have already proceeded with that.
Alrighty, going back to the cell tower. I'm sorry if it's a silly question, but does the Verizon tower help those who use a different carrier?
That question's over my head. If we have
Yeah, like with
a cell
T-Mobile
expert, a
or
tower, somebody
Mhm.
who knows more than me, that's a great question. Right now, I'm unsure if it
Yeah.
only be the Verizon customers or any other customer or every customer from different cell services that will receive better cell service.
Mhm. Yeah, and tonight, thanks for the reminder, we do have the roads update with Diane Edmondson in the ballroom. That's at 6 o'clock tonight. So any road questions, things like that, be great to ask at tonight's meeting. It will be live streamed and recorded on our YouTube page as well. The link was sent out today, but go to YouTube, just do Ropes and Ranch, Texas, and you can find the stream if you're not able to come tonight. Um, Let's see here. Is there trick or treating allowed in the ranch or is it very quiet?
It's generally very quiet. Now, not that trick or treating isn't allowed, but given the demographic of our residents, trick or treating isn't something that takes place too much out here, I don't believe.
Mhm.
But I mean, somebody could be creative and do an adult trick or treat. You never know. I
Yeah.
mean, but just given kind of our demographic, it tends to be pretty quiet. They do have a good little party in the Wild Horse Grill bar area. I know karaoke's happening too coming up, so got a
Mhm.
couple of Halloween style parties happening, but trick or treating, I don't think so.
Yeah, and the grill's doing a little party, a DJ thing on Friday night as well. So to answer the question about the cell tower, so no, a Verizon cell tower does not really improve other carrier signals. However, many towers are co-located with other carriers, and different carriers' phones will connect to different towers or different antennas on the same tower based on proximity and signal quality. Verizon's signal strength is specific to its network equipment on a given tower, while other carriers have their own independent networks, though some may use the same physical infrastructure. So thank you for that. Is there any chance of lighting being installed at the dog park?
I don't believe so. I mean, we have to be sensitive to all our neighbors in that area, and there's a lot of homes around that. So there is kind of a resistance because of all the individuals who kind of back up to the dog park to kind of have some light pollution in their area. So I really don't see us adding any lighting to the dog park area.
Was the light pole co-serves or the HOAs?
All poles except for the light poles in the amenities area here in Ed Robeson Circle are co-serves. So any light pole that you see that's either down and need to be replaced, that's on co-serve to order. And there's a lot of back orders on those, sometimes taking up to 16 weeks. We have one of our department heads with patrol follows up with co-serve to ensure that those are on order and things are going, but co-serve will pay for and install that. In turn, the HOA pays them for the electricity we use for those lights.
Will construction traffic continue to come down Pepperidge?
I believe so. I mean, you have a couple more units in that area, and I believe you would see construction traffic continue to come down Pepperidge. Kind of behind Basanite, you got Unit 30 going in, and there's a couple other units in that area.
We have a golf operations question. Is there a problem with the cup cutter or operator? Never a clean cut, have been told it is the grain of the green.
Well, that's something that I'll just follow up with Ryan and Caleb within our golf department and see what's going on with that cup and cup cutter. I would think, cup cutters in my knowledge should, there is grains of greens and stuff like that, but you should have a pretty clean cut. So I'll check up with them regarding the cup cutter. If you want to email me, I can follow up with you what I know after I talk to them.
Will the bocce courts be ready for use for the spring season?
Yes. I think, I mean, I hope so. I believe so. I mean, right now you have just really irrigation, which is pretty much, I'd say, 70% installed that needs to be completed. Then what you're going to see is some sod go down. Trees are already in. That's really close to being completed. Effectively, even if our furniture isn't delivered yet, we can make those courts available. I mean, those bocce courts available.
Are the bocce lights programmed to turn off at a reasonable hour of the night to reduce light pollution?
Yeah, once we take control of that, we've been back and forth kind of with them. I would believe those lights, depending on what season it is and when they go on, are going to go off around 10 o'clock at night.
The cut, back to the golf operations, the cut on the cups is done properly. As the cup dries out, it frays on the side where the grain of the grass.
Awesome. Thank you for that answer. So it sounds like they're doing everything they should be to cut cups correctly out there. And just on the side where it is the grain of the grass, you'll get some fraying throughout the day as it dries. Thank you for that. All right, with that's our last questions for now.
One more.
How confident
And
are we
the-
that I'm told it's being built right now, not like I mean it was going to be very active. I didn't hear this from Verizon. I heard it from a company that I was working with that if this tower wasn't going to be installed, would have a location that we would allow them to potentially install one on developer property to be able to lease out that property. He declined. He said, you don't have to put one here because it's going to be redundant because Verizon already has a tower that's going up and will be active in a month or three. So he didn't say it's going to be built in a month or three. He used the word active. So if we get to next catching up with Shelby and Rhett next month and we don't notice anything, I kind of have been corresponding with this company on about every bi-weekly basis for the past 3 months, trying to find spaces for cell towers and trying to check what's feasible. I'll ask for an update from them and then provide that to you all. Let's see. Right now, we're going to kind of go into our
finances.
summary of that. And Shelby, if you'll help me see if everything
Mhm.
looks good.
Yep. Yep, I can see it.
All right, let's see if we can switch. I'm not able to switch. There we go. Did you see it move? You see
No,
it?
it's still on the front page, the main page.
Oh, that's always great. All right, hold on just 1 second.
Maybe it was working when we tested it out.
Technology, it's okay. We'll make it work. If you see my eyes going around everybody, it's because I'm trying to make this work. So.
There it is.
All right, now we're moving.
Yep,
We're moving.
yep,
All right, cool.
moving.
All right, everything's up right now. You see it? All right,
Yes,
thank you.
good.
So we're going to go through our financial state of the HOA real quick. Remember, this is just a snapshot. This is about half of the slides that we did, just to be able to get through it in a pretty timely fashion on Catching Up with Shelby and Rhett. The PowerPoint in its entirety will be sent out, and if you have any follow-up questions, you can always call me, email me, come by the office, show up to a finance committee meeting, which is the first Thursday of the month at 3 to get a deeper dive into all this. So your state of the HOA financial snapshot as of August 31st, 2025. The state of the HOA is financially strong. Revenues of 11.6 million, slightly above budget and higher than 2024. Gross margin of 10.6, up 2% versus budget and 6% over last year. Operating expenses at 9.8 million, well controlled and below plan. Operating surplus, we currently have an operating surplus this year, as of August 31st, of 752,000, which is 75% better than budget. and we have a positive cash flow that supports future capital and reserve funding. We'll look at the 2026 operating budget. Is that moving, Shelby, or no?
Yep. Yep.
Yes. All right, what does the HOA maintain? Common area is responsible for over 200 acres, and we're going to see that more of those acres are going to be growing in 2026. Golf maintenance has 27 employees, 250 acres of golf holes. 27 holes, 21 employees, 250 acres of golf holes. Then we have approximately 14 buildings that the HOA maintains, 80,000 square feet with 7 facilities maintenance employees. We have 3 pools. We have 50 miles of streets that we own and maintain, 3 water well systems for irrigation purposes for both golf and the common area. And in essence, the HOA is a small city. All right, largest areas are food and beverage, golf, common areas, and general and administrative. HOA has 245 employees, 45% of the overall expense from that. And we have 2 major funds, the reserve fund and the operations fund. And we do a zero-based budgeting process. So jumping straight to it, here's your history of your HOA assessments from back to 2021 up through 2025. In 2023, we had a 6% increase, 2024, 2, 2025, 5. And in 2026, here's what we're proposing. A $4 increase per month, or 1.42% for the year, or $48 for the year. That'd be make your operating assessments go from 2,800 to 2,848, and then your reserve assessments of that 580 would remain the same, bringing your total assessments, excluding amenity fee, to $3,428. And then looking at our operations budget and assumptions that we do, you have your projected homes at 3,285. Assumes 120 new home closings. We have about 150 in the pipeline right now. CIF, your community improvement fee, assumes resales at 3.5% or 117 homes. As discussed before, we have a minor increase of $48. Operating cash reserves will be used as planned over to cover golf course losses due to the closure for the renovation. We're renovating our south course in 2026, all 9 holes. Green fees will increase 4%. Driving range prices will increase 16% in January and 8% in July. 16% being $2 for a large bucket and 8% being $1 for a large bucket in July. And then the Wild Horse Grill will open Monday nights beginning in March. Here's significant changes in expenses that we have a couple new units coming online. They're going to have future golf holes, which means they're just going to be no bunkers aren't going to be installed. They'll be like grass bunkers, and no greens drainage will be installed on theirs. That's going to be about 80 acres. It'll be about 5 holes. Some will be ready in May for us to maintain, and the others in October, and an additional 20 acres of normal common area. Just as when we got North 1 and North 9, those future golf holes will be maintained as common area until they are ready to be golfed on. So that is approximately 100 acres. Remember, we had 200 acres of golf, so that's about a 50% increase in acreage in the common area. We are going to need to add employees for that, so we'll add 2 in May, and then another one in October. We've increased fertilizer, chemicals, and water treatment for the additional acreage, and utilities increased for additional pumping of water to irrigate those areas. Our golf operations, we reduced costs in fertilizers and chemicals for the renovation of the 9 holes of South 9. Utilities increased for pumping during the growing period of the renovation. Wages increased. Pro shop and outdoor labor is calculated on a by day, by month basis. We basically started doing that just like we do our Wild Horse Grill, where we take every month, go day by day, the amount of Saturdays, Fridays, Mondays, and transfer that labor and do it bit by bit. And then golf maintenance lease, we lease all our golf maintenance equipment. Those are 5-year leases for the majority of the equipment. We do have some larger pieces of equipment that are 5-year lease with $1 buyback at the end. But the majority of our people movers and smaller mowers will be up and need to will renew that lease. But new leases are up 50 to 70% depending on that item. Come on. There we go. Other significant increases, gates and patrol, increased gate labor for double coverage during peak times, increased costs for our security camera system for gate licenses. Uh, and then G&A, increased insurance premiums by 20% is what we've been told right now. Reduce the budget to eliminate security systems. If you have one of those security promotions in your home where you had vector security for free in your house since you bought, all of those securities will come off at the beginning of 2026. So January 1st, your HOA will not subsidize any security systems for any homes around the property. And then increase personal property tax for increased cost of lease equipment. With streets and drainage, we increased drainage for the SOX erosion control. If you notice at your 2 entry ponds when you come in, there's like a black liner around those ponds. That's to prevent erosion. We're noticing we have an erosion on a lot of our ponds because a lot of them are about 20, 25 years old. So we are going to do this project for about 5 years to address every pond around the community with this SOX erosion control. So I believe the plan is for next year for our team during the dormant season, winter season, to address those 2 ponds on North 9. We reduced street maintenance, so road repairs reduced from $450,000 a year down to $400,000 a year. Food and beverage operations, your labor increased to reflect hours of operation for Mondays. We also just plugged in Tuesday evenings revenue for Monday evenings revenue was the assumption on that. Our cost of goods sold percentages will remain the same. Increased linen costs for increased banquet activity. Shelby's doing a great job of selling a lot of banquets for us. Remember, our banquet operation here at the clubhouse is a profitable operation for us. It brings in somewhere between $100,000 and $200,000 a year in profit for your food and beverage department. Increased subscription costs. We're going to switch to Open Table to help with some online booking, and also just helps us better know our guests, better track our guests, track our covers, and know tendencies for homeowners, such as your birthday when you come in, or anniversary, or what you might like to eat, and some other computer applications. We're looking at switching over to tablets in the Wild Horse Grill for ordering purposes pretty soon. I know I'm excited about that. Any other areas didn't really have big significant changes. So here's our preliminary budget. When you're looking up top, 1 through 5. And remember, I'm going to be sending this out. So if I'm going a little bit fast, it's not because I don't want you to know it. It's because I just want to keep our people on here and get through this in a timely fashion. So 1 through 5 is kind of your operating assessments. There is no developer subsidy right now. The developer hasn't subsidized the HOA, even though if there is a developer contribution, it would show up in developer subsidy. A couple years ago, they gave us the old construction home, which was now our maintenance office that's on Sutherland. That came in as a subsidy. And then about 4 years ago, they contributed $1.4 million to the restoration of our 3 water wells. They half the price with the HOA on that. So that would show up in developer subsidy. You see your net recreation, your miscellaneous income, which is ALC fees, late fees, room rental fees, and the like in that area. And then you have all your other operations. So you have your net food and beverage operation. That's number 7. It's netting out. And these are all expense categories. So it's a $339,000 expense. That does include your banquet department. When you're looking at your golf department, on line 8, proposal for 2026 is $684,000. That's due to the renovation of the golf course and having less availability. for about a 9.5 month stretch from February to October 15th, when we will not be able to play on the South Course. Remember, this was planned and we were aware of this. It's very important to know that our finance committee has a 5-year plan where we really scrutinize that 5-year plan to understand what our future is going to look like for funding in all areas, operations and reserve, and this was all according to plan. See your clubhouse there, your arts and crafts building, your fitness center, your pool, on and on. You see your common area on line 15. That's another pretty big change due to the increase of 100 acres, starting portions of that beginning in May. But it's important to know your cost per acre, your maintenance per acre did go down. Um, from $12,000 an acre to $10,000 an acre, with only having 3 additional employees for that 100 additional acres. You'll see your patrolling gates, streets and drainage, and then your general administrative, which has your administrative fee, your insurance, and things like that in that big area. So that brings your proposed subtotal to $9.831 million. We'll get to kind of your budget summary here. So you see your 9.831 on 19 net operating surplus or shortfall. We'll have a shortfall, a budgeted shortfall of $18,000 before our capital expenditures of 269. That brings our shortfall before contingency on line 23 to $287,000. For HOAs, you're always looking at keeping a 5% contingency. That 5% contingency would be $477,000, bringing the total shortfall to $764,000, 346. Now, here's where the important thing comes in, and I'm going to talk about the projected year ends and then proposed 2026 for lines 26, 27, and 28, beginning with estimated beginning cash balance. So that $3.342 million that you see there is monies that have been built up since 2020 for prior year surpluses. So we ran a surplus to budget pretty much every year since 2020. We don't have a use it or lose it budget. What we have is whatever funds that we have at the end of that year, those funds can be banked, and they're banked right there in your operational cash surplus. So our beginning cash balance projected year end is 3.342. Line 27 is simply saying we're going to take $500,000 of that prior year's cash surplus and transfer that to reserve. The reason we're transferring that to reserve is to limit the impact on homeowners, help fund your golf course renovation without having to increase reserve dues or reserve assessments. So when we look at line 28, that would bring our projected year end, year over year cash surplus to 2.842 million. And then you go back up to 26 and look for proposed 2026, you'll see that $2.842 million, what we'll start with. And then that 2.842 million will simply be used to fund that deficit, that 764,000, bringing in our year end cash surplus in 2026 to 2,078,000. This is the proposed capital for our proposed budgeted capital for next year. Some bocce court shades, new cameras, some golf renovation projects on North 9 and North 8, and driving range expansion, some additional seating for our tall tables in the clubhouse for $12,000, and then a full door framing replacement in your gatehouse. With that, got weird. All right, that's your reserve budget. I don't know why all these
Right,
things
at
just
all.
transfer that didn't do this
Yeah.
before, but I love technology. So, most assets over $5,000 with useful life of 3 years are included in your reserve. Whole buildings are not included in your reserve, but we do include the roofs, the lighting, the flooring, the exterior painting for the exteriors. Your streets are not included in reserve. That is funded out of operations, as we discussed earlier. Inventory is taken annually to confirm our listing. We do reserve studies we had our first reserve study in 2019. Criterium did that, a follow-up reserve study in 2022. Smart Properties did that. And again, in 2025, Smart Property did another reserve study. So every 3 years. And prior to 2019, your finance committee compiled all the assets and did kind of the original reserve study to kind of give a kind of a template for Criterium to start that. So with the increase in costs and just kind of getting today's dollars, the total value of our assets did increase to 28 million from 26 million. We'll see the breakdown on the next page if it comes through right, and it did, with all except for ignore the snowflakes and everything. The golf course being $14.5 million of your reserve of that 28 million. And then you see every other piece of equipment with your fixtures and furnishings, wells, mechanical equipment, some miscellaneous, some roofing materials, all the HVAC units, any mobile equipment, people movers, that's cars and the like, pools and spas, restaurant equipment, and on down the list. And that is no good.
Don't know what's going on.
Wow.
Well, the one you send out will have it all
Yeah.
correct.
So at least the budget came through. Okay. So I'm sorry I didn't go through our assumptions, but what you need to know about our assumptions, that's the page that kind of looked really weird, is means everything is projected out over 30 years in your reserve. We take interest rates, we take inflation, we take increases, we take the amount of homes that we start with and project that out all over 30 years. So here is your reserve budget, proposed reserve budget for 2026. We'll look at that far right. I like when we do a reserve, I'll start at the bottom, line 10. See that the end of 2026, we're projected to end the year with $3.1 million in your reserve. Above that on line 9, you'll see transfers from cash operations. That's the $500,000 that's going to be transferred from operations to reserve. Has a beginning cash balance of $5.8 million after all those funding lines that you see above that. With planned reserve replacements for 2026 being a total of $5.689 million. That includes $4.5 million to renovate your South Golf Course. All right. I'm sorry about the end of that. I got a little. All right. If there's any other financial questions right now or anything that anyone want to see, again, I apologize about the end of that presentation with all the emojis or whatever you want to call those. We'll make sure to send that out tomorrow in its entirety, but at least the numbers were there.
Does the developer help subsidize street maintenance and repairs because of the wear and tear caused by the heavy construction vehicle traffic?
If roads fail prematurely, so if roads fail within the first 2 to 3 years of them, the developer will help subsidize the repair of that road. If normal wear and tear over a 20-year period and those roads need to be repaired, the HOA funds that in its entirety. But the developer has been good to, if we ask or have noticed some premature failures, to compensate the HOA for those repairs or just pay for those outright. Does anyone have any other questions at this time, finance or otherwise related? Shelby, you got any events coming up? I saw an advertisement for the holiday gala. Do you hear me, Shelby? All right, I don't think she heard me. Ropes and Ranch Holiday Gala's coming out pretty soon. And I know they're booking reservations for Thanksgiving right now. So get your reservation for Thanksgiving over at the Wild Horse Grill if you can.
There you are, my back.
Yeah, you're back.
Glitched out for a minute.
I was talking about Holiday Gala. We saw you the whole
Yes,
time, but you were there.
yes.
Holiday Gala just came out. I know the
Yeah,
venue's
so
going to be great.
yeah, those tickets will go on sale November 10th. That gala is going to be December 6th. We'll have a great meal, three-course plated, served by got a great head chef and banquet chef. So we're excited for that. Gonna have two live bands. Your Ropes and Little Swing Band will play during dinner, and then we'll have the Casita Boys playing for dancing afterwards. So that's always a good time. And then next Monday, November 3rd, tickets go on sale for the last UNT concert of the year. So that'll be UNT Chamber Music, November 18th. So those tickets go on sale on the 3rd. And then
Awesome.
they'll start sending out 2026 kind of events to mark your calendar before the end of the year.
All right. So is there other safe investments for us to consider for the operating budget? So we do all our funds, and I'll talk reserve. I forget operating right now. I don't want to misspeak, but all our reserve funds, the ones that are still in cash to keep them liquid, are put in a sweep account that gets 3.06% interest. Our others are in FDIC insured investments for that. Right now, you're looking at around 3 to 4% is the best we're getting for interest rates right now.
Going back to that water outage we had last week, are we at risk of more events? It seems one thing shutting down entire property is not right.
I don't believe we're in the risk of more events. Now, I could be wrong in that, but I don't see us being at risk of more events.
Do we have any update on the entrance off of Florence Road?
There are no plans for that entrance to be completed anytime soon.
So construction traffic, especially heavy trucks, impact wear and tear on roads more than resident traffic. Shouldn't the developer participate in road repairs on roads their heavy trucks use?
One could argue that the developer did participate in road repairs up until 2019 when we were out of subsidy. Remember, the developer has subsidized this community at over $20 million until we were able to go out of subsidy. But all roads are constructed with construction traffic in mind that the depth and how the roads are constructed with the rebar and the things of that nature. So uh, they were aware that these roads were going to have construction traffic. They were done with that in mind. In my history of kind of overseeing road repairs in this property, which is going on about 8 years now, I really don't see a lot of damage from construction vehicles. Now, you do see over time that it could cause a little bit, but our worst areas are around drainage ditches or pipes or lack of compaction in certain areas over time that have caused that damage. Homeowners overwatering with water going under the curbs and getting intruding into the roads has been an issue as well. And if there's any damage that we look at that's caused by concrete trucks or construction traffic, those are conversations we have at the corporate level, and they would support those road repairs. But the majority of the road repairs that we're seeing now are just wear and tear. They're 20-year-old streets. They need just repair and general normal repair and maintenance on that 50 miles of streets. But I mean, the whole thing that the developer doesn't help out or developer, is just like we're some, uh, you know, uh, like he's not totally invested in our property. I think that's just some dialogue that's just untrue. A developer has an invested interest in this property. His business, his home building business, depends on the success and future success of Ropes and Wrench Denton. So I know he wants Ropes and Wrench Denton to be a success because I know he wants to sell more homes.
All right, and then with the Verizon tower going up, can we use another internet provider other than Astound?
Well, currently, Astound is your only in-ground provider. No other in-ground provider, Spectrum, Frontier, has provided the necessary assurances and warranties to warranty boring underneath our streets to lay in their infrastructure for that. Uh, could that tower potentially help you and your home get Verizon 5G internet service in your home? Potentially, I'm not aware of that happening, but it could help that as well. But as positive as some cell tower talks have been, some talks regarding other companies wanting to lay infrastructure and provide warranties for our streets and roads that they could potentially damage with boring and trying to run that infrastructure has not been as promising today.
Mhm.
Just a couple housekeeping rules. I always get a couple of these regarding dog stuff. So I'm getting reports from homeowners that we have people that their dog does their business and they don't pick it up, or their dog does their business and they pick it up and put it in a bag and then leave it on the street or throw it behind a bush or things like that. Something I haven't really witnessed, but that's what I'm being told. And just a reminder, trash days are on Tuesday. Try not to put your trash cans out before 6 p.m. the day before on that Monday, and then try to remove them as soon as you can after your trash gets picked up.
Mhm.
And then I had a question from a homeowner regarding kind of a personal thing on Ropes and Ranch Road on Drinkwater, Unit 26. There's a new road that's coming on to Drinkwater called Jimmy Drive. He's asking when that road will be open or help because there's some construction traffic that's not able to make that turn and they're having to back up and turn around his yard, or not yard, hopefully not yard, his driveway. So they should widen that turn. They're going to add some gravel to that area so they can make that turn. And then they will also communicate to them to ensure that that traffic isn't continuing to kind of use his driveway as a turnaround spot. Any other questions? Been a great catching up with Rhett and Shelby with a lot of questions and a lot of information. Remember, I will be sharing that financial information again. Uh, we have our annual board meeting next week, November 6th at 7 p.m. in the clubhouse. We will review that financial information again. I don't anticipate many changes for that. That's why we want to do the financial state of the HOA so you're aware of your HOA's finances, understand what your due structures will look like in 2026. And thank you all for just the questions. I think it helps us all learn. It helps me learn and understand what issues and that you all might be having so we can continue to advocate for this community to make it the best community around. And I truly believe it is a fantastic community to work for. I know that. And I know you all know it's a fantastic community to live in. Thank you so much. If you need anything, have any questions, as always, reach out to Shelby or me or show up to a committee meeting. If you want the information, it is out there and we're willing to provide it and have conversations with you. Thank you all very much and enjoy your week. And then we'll see you later this month. We do have the Dean of UNT, the president of UNT. I want to
President
get
of
the title
UNT,
right. The
yes, yeah.
president of UNT will be joining us for our November 19th session
Mhm.
of Catching Up with Shelby and Rhett. So we'll have a special guest. And then I've also, for next year, I've had some requests to have Kevin Klein, our new food and beverage director, join us in a future session of Catching Up with Shelby and Rhett, and we'll have him join us sometime in 2026. But we'll see you around the ranch. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelby.